A lot of people believe sales is just about talking fast or convincing someone of something he doesn't even need. I've been working in sales for about 7 months now doing cold calling. I've booked the most demos of the team, and I can honestly tell you that's complete nonsense. Sales is a skill of transformation. It transforms your communication, your income, your confidence, and your ability to lead. But here is what nobody tells you. Sales mastery doesn't happen overnight. It evolves through 3 different phases. And once you understand these phases, you'll know exactly where you are and you know how you can level up faster. In the beginning, there is no intuition, no charisma, no sales personality. There's only survival. This is where most beginners start, using scripts, frameworks, and basic sales psychology. This phase is about structure over style. You learn basics like how to open a conversation, how to ask discovery questions, how to handle objections, and how to close. It feels robotic, you feel stiff, and you probably also sound stiff too. But that's completely fine, it's supposed to feel this way. Think of this like learning to play piano. At first, you learn the notes, the keys. It's not beautiful, but you're building the foundation. In sales, however, the foundation is built from frameworks like these. For example, there is spin selling, which is about the situation, the problem, the implication, and need. And there's also the pass selling, which is about the problem, agitation, and solution. Plus, obviously, there's also the basic art of asking open-ended questions. Because as a salesperson, it's super important to let the other party talk in order for you to understand their pain points and their problems. In the first phase, there are a lot of mental mistakes made by salespeople. First, they often just simply talk too much. Second, they forget to ask really deep questions. Third, they have a certain fear of silence. And fourth, there's obviously the fear of rejection. However, if you skip this phase, you will never become great at selling. The goal of this first phase is to build confidence, to build your vocabulary, and to learn the psychology of buying. The second phase is the most difficult phase, and it's actually the one that filters out 90% of people. This phase is not about skill, it's about identity. Who are you in conversations? Do you lead or do you chase? In this phase, you start realizing that sales really is emotional. You feel rejection more deeply. You also overthink your performance. You start worrying less about what to say and more about how you say it. This phase is where you face the fear of rejection, the fear of judgment, and the fear of being seen as salesy or pushy. But this phase is where your self-image changes. Suddenly, silence doesn't scare you anymore. You're not rushing to fill the gaps. You listen deeply and you get better at reading people. You begin leading conversations, not chasing them. Also, you develop the following. First, presence. You start being calm, assertive, and grounded. Second, you develop emotional intelligence, reading tone, hesitation, or doubt. Third, the framing. You set the context of the conversation so that the buyer sees you more as an advisor and not as the seller. In general, you stop acting like a salesperson and you start behaving like a trusted guide. There's also a key mindset shift in this phase. You are no longer trying to sell them, you are helping them to make the right decisions for themselves. The third and last phase is where real sales mastery is born. You're no longer thinking about frameworks, you are the framework. You're not just reacting, you're anticipating. In this phase, you enter what psychologists call unconscious competence. You've internalized selling so deeply it really flows naturally like a conversation. Now you're doing things like hearing objections before they're even spoken, adjusting your tone based on energy and psychology, not a script, controlling the emotional tempo of the conversation, and anticipating buyer fears before they even articulate them. This is where you become really dangerous. You can lead a sales call like a natural conversation. You can sell without sounding like you're selling. You can inspire confidence without pushing. You can navigate complex deals, negotiations, or multiple stakeholders. And the most interesting part, at this stage, you're not even thinking about closing, because you're guiding people so clearly that selling becomes a logical conclusion, not an aggressive pitch. This is what mastery really feels like: effortless, calm, natural, and confident. And here's the secret: this level of sales intuition doesn't just make you good at selling, it makes you good at business, leadership, management, relationships, and influence. Sales mastery isn't about learning to convince people, it's about learning to understand them. Because when you understand people, you don't just sell more. You lead more, you grow more, and you build more. If you are in the first phase, study the framework. If you are in phase 2, build your confidence. And if you are in the last phase, start mentoring others. Sales is not a career, it's a language of opportunity in every area of life.